Right, okay. Draft 2 is underway. And the early ban comes in again. It is Wisp this time from Evil Genius. Is not going to let them have that tiny Wisp longer.
But now, are they going to give EG the Shadow Fiend? Which...
They can't, can they?
They could.
Is it too risky?
They'll just need a better strat to play against. They need something like what EG just did. What is their solution to Shadow Fiend? So either they let EG play the Shadow Fiend, or they ban the Shadow Fiend, or they let EG do exactly what they did the last game, except they swap their lanes, maybe swap some of their heroes.
So they're not gonna let them have it either. So that's an interesting move from PBD.
I think it's pretty straightforward. They basically played their card. They said, okay, Lich. That was their last pick, and it really shut down the Shadow Fiend. And if OG did the same thing as last game, they would probably just ban Lich. I felt like that was the important hero that created extra pressure against SF. So I feel like that, because it's played now, they got a free win out of it, essentially, and there's no reason to allow OG the attempt to outthink it.
Only really EG that have made that Lich work here in Frankfurt. So
what do you think this first pick that EG has in mind is? Banning out the Shadow Fiend?
Evil geniuses.
I think it depends on what they think OG won't let them have.
I was thinking Bane, but that's not in... Winter Wyvern, maybe? Is that a good single opener?
It is.
I've seen a lot of Slaughter open.
Well, Slaughter just went through completely untouched last game. It'd be surprising to me if it was suddenly the first pick. It would completely dictate a different draft, however. The Winter Wyvern has been a very successful hero for both lineups. PPD obviously favoriting that one with the amount of performances he's had on it. The same way Brit is also a great Winter Wyvern. You were talking about it earlier.
You mentioned that Undying was a really key hero for both of these teams too. We might see them go to the same route and kind of target fly out with the picks and bans.
I think the Undying pickup would be pretty decent. The problem in that is that they can respond with a Dazzle Slaughter pick.
That is true.
Or AA Slaughter, maybe.
I think Dazzle Slaughter is a bit scarier.
Knowing OG, it's most likely the Dazzle. It's just a hero they've been super successful with. It opens up their draft for Huskar, Meepo. They go for the AA. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's what we expected last game, I guess. But
it also stops OG in some ways from doing their Tiny plus Alchemist. So
and Huskar.
And Huskar.
Yeah. Do you think they'd run it without the Wisp?
They have.
But that was more of a burst damage mobility Tiny and less of a I'm gonna get butterfly and eggs. I feel like they won't do that without a Tiny or without a Wisp. They'll just play the Tiny differently. They still could pick Tiny, but
Radiant team.
Nothing weird there, just a little Tusk.
I kind of expect like a Slaughter Undying though over the Tusk.
I'm still surprised they
maybe Tusk Undying though.
Why would they shy away from Slaughter, a hero that is so good?
Maybe they fear PVD Abaddon?
Winter Wyvern.
Winter Wyvern? That makes a lot of sense.
One of Crit's best support heroes.
And these are both very aggressive heroes too. I think one of the few downsides with Ancient Apparition is his 1-5 is not particularly strong. In 3-on-3 situations he's fairly strong, but you can early roam on him, especially with a Tusk and perhaps a Winter Wyvern, and he's not actually that great at protecting the mid lane.
Do you think it's worthwhile committing to a Night Stalker or a Spirit Breaker pick right now? I don't think Spirit Breaker is particularly good against the... they do go for the Undying.
I like the Undying a lot versus OG though. It's most of the games that we've seen OG have success with is just pressure on the start, and it's just incredibly hard to pressure Undying without and deal with the Tombstone and take down towers and deal with his amount of sustain.
It's a great counter to OG aggressively snowballing in as well, because if they want to retreat, then the Tombstone's likely going to be placed a little bit out of the way. So they can't jump in, get a kill, then kill the Tombstone and retreat most of the time. So it forces them to be a lot more careful with their aggression.
Yeah. What do you guys think about? Do you think that OG should have valued the Undying a little bit more over the Winter Wyvern? We talked about how perhaps they shouldn't have banned it in game number 1.
I don't think it's that bad that they skipped it, personally. Both teams value it very heavily. It's definitely, I would say, their go-to support hero for their 5 position. So Winter Wyvern just provides slightly different things. More damage in team fights, better laning stage in some ways, and with Tusk Snowball and the Chilling Embrace, I really feel like they have good solutions against a lot of different options for offensive things from EG. So I kind of like both of them. They protect them against things like TA, Wind Ranger with the Winter Wyvern, whereas Tusk covers you from bursty things. So I feel like it gives them good options. And they don't have to do Tusk support. They can do Tusk offlane, whereas EG is hard committed to their 2 supports. So maybe OG can draft around those, whereas EG won't be able to draft around the 2 OG picks.
I think I'd still prefer Undying, though, over the Ancient Apparition. I think you can actually pressure his lane very early on. And the Soul Rip against the heal is not as integral to Undying as the Cold Embrace is to Winter Wyvern. Okay, so...
OG just blocking a little bit of fun stuff for OG with the Brood.
Yeah, so I guess the only quote-unquote cheese strat that they have left is Meepo, if they're considering that, but heavy early game, heavy team fight from OG.
They're going to be able to rotate to fights and ganks very easy as well with no tail. In previous games, Phantom Lancer, yeah, you can TP and do a Lance, but it's not the same as getting 6 on Gyrocopter, TPing and doing a cooldown. So he'll be able to do a lot in the early game. It's, again, very good against Undying.
10 seconds remaining.
I like this pick from OG a lot. I think it rounds out their lineup heavily. Still missing a little bit of range disable, but Tusk should be able to start all the fights. And now they can follow up.
So now EG, Lactor 3 cores, Juggernaut, one of the few ones that can deal with a Gyrocopter in his own safe lane. Anything else that you can pair with an Undying to actually pressure the Gyro?
Imagine if EG just pulls out the Shadow Priest Husker pick.
Well, they can't do Shadow Priest, but they can...
They can do an offlane Undying.
I feel like they're the team to practice something like that, but never tell anybody about it. Maybe not use it this tournament, but it would look really good here.
I feel like they're a team that would never practice that. Think about it and just do it.
I think so. Huh?
They could do that.
Okay. A bit of a weird core. They picked us in the group stage. It's very good against certain lineups. It's not very strong until you get BKB, because it's very easy to get disabled. And with the slows and got Tusk and Winter Wyvern, there's a lot of ways to prevent him from using Blink Dagger.
Yeah, but even then, like, you're not worried about their burst. OG's very, very burst heavy. Like, the first 5 seconds of the fight is going to be Winter's Curse, Call Down, Flat Cannon, Tusk, all of his bursts, and that's where Warcry is just incredibly good. I really underestimated that skill earlier on, but after watching him throughout the group stage and throughout the main stage, Warcry is incredible. It's really hard to see damage mitigation unless it's like Guardian Angel, where it's 100%, but the Warcry plus 16 armor is really good.
Especially, we saw that in game 1 against Vegas.
20?
Just
20
how
now?
20.
Oh my gosh,
They buffed
okay. Even better.
And they also have Soul Rip to counteract the magic damage, so physical is going to do very little, and then any burst can be counteracted by Soul Rip. But it's still going to come down to Ice Shards. Like, that's the vulnerable point for Sven. If he doesn't have a Blink Dagger,
It is.
or if they don't have a Force Staff, Ice Shards is... And Warcry is not going to matter, because they will eventually kill him.
So only the Miracle Hero remaining. Do you think it's going to be like a Wind Ranger or Ember Spirit? There's not a lot of lockdown for an Ember Spirit right now. They do have decent amount of early game and...
I still like to see more magic damage come out from them because of the Sven pickup or something that can kite him. I guess
more.
we've seen Ember. Ember's been somewhat successful versus Sven in the first 30, but after the more it gets late, it's so difficult to actually kill him.
Miracle has also played the Gyro as well, so...
I like the Beast pick, allows them to set up their AI Blast. Makes Sven a little bit more useful early as well, because he doesn't have to use his stun for damage, or for stun, he can use it for damage instead.
10 seconds.
And that gives them a really good way to deal with the only DPS that OG currently has. Obviously, Wyvern, Earthshaker, Tusk all have damage potential, but Gyrocopter is going to scale the best, so if they just roar him, they can potentially just deal with him at the start of the fight.
But Evil Geniuses also has like no room for OG to cheese them though. Huskar countered by AA, Meepo countered by Sven. So like Evil Geniuses doesn't even have to ban those two heroes, and they just straight ban the Wisp. So there's 3 of OG's greatest weapons.
Yeah. It's such a cool draft by EG for that reason. It saves them so many ban possibilities because they just pick cores that may not be good in all situations, but protect the cheese.
And as Red Eye has pointed out, Miracle has played Gyrocopter 3 times in the major. So we could still be looking at no-tail hero.
It's true.
And he doesn't yet know who's going to be mid.
Seconds remaining.
So
5 seconds remaining.
Red Eye, what are your thoughts?
You tease me. I want to see a Timbersaw.
Reserve time.
this is not the Timbersaw game.
Yeah, I don't think Timbersaw
I know,
is
but I just want to see one.
Okay.
I don't care.
I think this is a great Lina ban coming out. It's one of the heroes that good up against us when you were talking about how they lack the magic damage.
Yeah.
Could we potentially see a Magnus? Not for OG, but for Evil Geniuses. Sumail Magnus.
That's cleave overkill. Like, you don't need that much, I don't think. It's like 66%.
There's never
Is
cleave
there
overkill.
such a thing as
There
cleave
is.
overkill?
I don't know, man. I think
That's insane, Purge.
10 seconds.
Purge is inventing new meta.
Sven does not need cleave, and he doesn't need that much damage. He just needs his allies to lock down his opponents to give him time to attack 4 times, and then he wins a fight. That's how Sven wins.
Well, Mag gives him plenty of time for that.
So what's
That's
this last
true.
pick then? Is it a miracle
We
hero?
think
or
we
is
think
it...
it's the whatever hero it is. I think we think it needs to be more magic based than to deal with the Sven. And with Queen of Pain and Lina being banned out, are there any other good ones?
I think a strength hero would be the wrong decision to take here. When they have an undying A as the support duo, they have the Sven to armor through whatever physical damage that comes out. They should definitely think in the lines of...
What about a Tide for... Oh, I guess they already have Beastmaster offlane.
So what are we looking for here? A Sumail hero?
I think the draft from Evil Geniuses is so strong that he can play just about anything, and they still have a great chance of winning.
I don't think Timbersaw's that bad.
I think it's fairly meh against this lineup.
Yeah.
Hell in there.
Fairly meh.
I think he can also play Ember Spirit too versus.
They could demonstrate.
Yep.
They don't have much time.
Seconds remaining.
Yeah, not that great versus Razor though.
7 seconds. 3 seconds. Oh, wow.
That's a treat.
Sumail locks in the Tinker as we head into Game 2 of Evil Geniuses versus OG.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here in the Mesa. Things are heating up on Championship Saturday as we get ready to see who's going to face Team Secret in that grand finals for the first ever Dota 2 Major. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Blitz. Blitz, it's a Tinker. What the hell?
I mean, it's a little bit different, especially since you see the enemy lineup and you're like, okay, there's not a lot of heroes that Tinker just hard counters, but I think it pairs well with the Beastmaster. There's a lot of synergy in their draft. What I really want to highlight, though, even more than the Tinker, is EG's decision to go for the Sven. I feel like this was the reason why they didn't end up banning the Meepo, because they had the pre-prepared strategy in case they decided to go that route.
Yeah, we all know EG are very comfortable running Sven in general anyway. It's a classic for them. Fear perhaps imparting some tips to his protege, young Arteezy. And with that, we hop into what could be OG's last game on the main stage. They need to win 2 in a row. As for EG, one of the next 2 will do, should it go to that game 3. It's Evil Geniuses versus OG. The teams enter the field, and we get ready. Miracle up on the high ground here, together with Moon. PPD, Sumail, Arteezy, and Fear all hiding back. So while we have a moment here, Blitz, they get some wards down. It looks like they really want to make sure they protect this mid lane early for EG. 2 wards committed, 1 at each rune, just to ensure that the Tinker has a nice start.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of your spotlight hero for EG. They want to make sure that this guy is able to get a good amount of farm. They want to try to secure a one-on-one matchup if possible. You've got a hero like Undying that can kind of help out, but you typically want to see him help out the offlaner, harass a little bit. PPD's playing a hero that generally isn't known for helping out in that 1v1 matchup at a bottom.
Universe really wants this bounty
got
room,
both
but it's a
bounty
double
rooms.
grab for OG. That's the kind of start they didn't get in game number 1. So they'll take it, and they'll head back to the lanes here. The horn is blown, and we are underway. The Hawk now scouting out this pole camp off the bat. It looks like they are going to rotate Fly down there, so we're going to see early dual lanes from OG. Quite a bit different from last game. Maybe Crit will roam down bottom. We'll see. Kind of hanging out mid for the moment.
Yeah, he wants to help out Sumail in this matchup. Seems like they're really trying to give their mid laner much more space than they did in their previous series. They want to make sure that this Tinker has a good time. And Crit playing the Tusk doesn't really have the best ways to harass this, but
well, I would hope
just go for the pull.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to go for the pull there, as Moon will be in the off lane up against Arteezy just by himself for now. PPD, though, is available to rotate in. He's going to get off that initial stun, some harass onto Moon, as Crit does begin stacking up. Gets the first big camp stack, something they can go back and look to farm later on. And as for the Direwoods, no stacking just yet. So what is the Tinker play style nowadays, Blitz? Is this going to be stack up the jungle, still go for March of the Machines, farm up not the Ancients, but the regular neutrals? Do we see more of a ganking build out of Sumail? What are you expecting?
You're probably going to go for the pretty static Tinker build. You might decide to go for the Dagon levels a little bit earlier because you have the Beastmaster, and you can kind of get complete map control with the hero, but split push is probably going to be the name of the game. Let Sumail split things out a little bit as much as possible, get map control with this hero.
They get a fissure block on the mid lane. Sumail could be in a bit of danger. He's going to head to the north.
This block by Moon!
Damage getting sold. He turns and quickly unloads. He held his skill point. And then he is going to skill up the heat-seeking missile. Beautiful play by Sumail. Very calm under pressure. OG thought they had that one easily, but they were wrong. And once again, it's EG striking first. They're now going to grab
he's got the
bounty
laser.
rune. There's the body. Black Moon could be down next. It's Fear who gets the last hit. And EG are off to the races once more. There's a haste turn grab bottom though, and they're rolling in onto Universe. Nicely done by Crit. Can he get the killer on Universe? Good trap in. And even with the axes, it looks like he will fall. The boar gets killed off on the way out, so OG do strike back. But they've already given up a quick first blood, and of all heroes, they've given it to Tinker.
We've seen Moon go for that play before when he's struggling in the off lane. Help out your mid laner a little bit, and what looked like a great opportunity, Miracle just goes to the static link. Even the block was there, but Sumail holding onto that skill point. Miracle dying. They really can't afford to do this, especially when they're the ones going for the gank. They even rotated in Fly for this. Luckily, they were able to get a kill at bottom, and so the support rotation doesn't hurt them that much. But you would have really liked to see them at least get the kill there.
Yeah, Fly will continue the stacking off in the Radiant Woods, and now it is time for Fear to begin his own stacks. We'll see what Sumail... He's still holding the skill points, so this is one of the nice things about Tinker, and I think something worth highlighting that usually if you want to go for the March build, you'll see players just take the points, but you have the option if there's a kill opportunity or if you just maybe want to turn around the gank to save them. So now he is going to level up March. He definitely wants to ensure the economy, but that was just a nice little play that we don't see all the time out of mids.
Yeah, and I think that he just decided to go for that rocket again for that kill.
Yeah.
But now you can divert back to this March of the Machines build. It's a lot more stable than just trying to go for kills. I know a lot of people prefer, especially in pub games, to go for that max kill build with the laser.
It's way
machine.
more fun, but
Yeah,
not as reliable.
You get a lot of lane pressure, but the amount of farm that you're able to do is really limited. And with EG's lineup, they needed a hero that could split up the lanes and go for the flash farm, and Tinker fits that perfectly.
And then the overall strategy can kind of develop around that. That's where you get the Hawk to give you the deeper vision as well as the mobility for the Tinker. And the other cool thing for this team is they've got the Beastmaster as a hero they can go around setting up ganks for the Ice Blast, for the Tinker to TP in. A very classic combo. As Moon may get caught out here at the top rune. He's going to get chased. Doesn't have a TP scroll. Doesn't have the mana for the fissure. Doesn't have a mango if he really needs to use it. EG will force him back. So suddenly 3 heroes made it. While that's going on, there's a call down bottom lane, but No Tail doesn't quite fully connect to the
he
universe.
might be a little bit too
Double
deep for
TP.
this.
He's got no mana right now. Doesn't have the stick charge for the TP out. Is there any way to cancel it? Arteezy is going to engage with the Warcry. He can get off that initial stun, maybe. Shards.
that trap.
Beautiful catch. Not sure they could have killed him anyway, but Crit just makes it easy for No Tail to walk away.
And that was a TP rotation in for the Sven, who's already slightly behind the gyrocopter. Can't really afford to waste time like that.
But it is good for PPD. He's going to get the free experience at least.
Yeah, you want your A to be level 6 as soon as possible. And this hero kind of fits the PPD hero philosophy where it's a hero that will do a lot in the team fights, heavily relies on positioning, and doesn't need that much farm to be successful. The Aghanim Scepter for a player like this might be a little bit too unrealistic, but
It's just a nice bonus. They're
Yeah,
not gonna.
exactly.
They're not building the strategy around it. But Arteezy is building his strategy around aggression. The TP gank failed, but that's not gonna
two levels
afford
of
him.
cold feet.
And he gets the stun. Will get the kill. A nice combo play. The turnaround attempted by Big Daddy. Cooldown's gonna hit once. Can he get a range of Arteezy? Doesn't want to risk it. I think the wise play. There could be a TP counter gank potentially. So actually looking at EG, nobody had a teleport. Maybe could have done for that.
And now it's the safe laner for OG that's going to have rotated up to this top lane. Doesn't look like he's too interested in going back this early, but they might attempt to kill a bottom.
Brett taking a lot of damage here. The Universe is only level 4.
Yeah, I think he's way too low to be able to help out Moon. It looks like they've just kind of gone for the roundabout switch. And you can't really sack a hero like Earthshaker LD.
Do I mean that little to you, William?
I mean, honestly.
Is this how you've gotten Owen to stop sabotaging you by directing him at
A
me?
lot of people are getting sick sans Owen, so
Yeah, it's very interesting how that works out. Cheeky little bugger.
but this bottom lane, Earthshaker's a hero that you can't really sack. You have to give up some farm. And a hero like Gyrocopter can just be a little bit more mobile. But this opportunity mid with the amount of marches laid down doesn't really seem like it's going to be possible.
So a kind of slow laning phase here overall, but I mean for OG to not just be getting blasted out of the game at 5 minutes is huge progress for them.
Yeah, they're going to need one more hero for this.
This is the aggressive style, the super early roam. He's in great position here. If he can get the backstab, the Tinker's the ideal target. They don't care so much about the Undying. They really want this kill, but Sumail has the haster, and it's not going to be that easy. He drops the call down. Sumail, first one's going to hit. He's dead before he can even get it off. Beautifully played by Big Daddy. Coming up huge in the clutch. Now Fear forced to drop the tomb. Tries to run. They are going to get off the cold feet on crit. Snowball to dodge it. Try to roll forward. And gets the kill. Another big play is OG are finding themselves in a much more comfortable position. They even forced out the rotation of Arteezy. But it's not going to get punished. And already the crowd starts to get behind them. If nothing else, I'm sure they want that game 3. And OG are even going to scout the stacks. This is big. Can they take them? Moon's going to try. He gets off that initial fissure. And quickly Sumail scrambles in. The Haste wasn't used last time, so he's got it available now. This will force OG back. EG are not going to give these stacks up for free. They do get the stun on the Moon, but again, the shards from crit slams the door on EG. The laser not even going to get the job done. Moon easily able to turn that level 1 laser. It but tickles. But they do get the creep secured, so that's the big win here for EG.
Yeah, they just wanted to force OG out of the jungle, but still, I just want to really highlight the patience from No-Tail. He saw the haste rune, and a lot of players would have just kind of given up on that and said, okay, I've wasted enough time here, but he finds the perfect angle. Sumail isn't 100% sure where the cooldown hits from. He even accidentally pops the soul ring. Goes down almost immediately. No time to respond there, even with the haste. Fantastic rotation so far from OG, like you pointed out. They're doing a good job of rotating around the map. And they've already gotten more kills than they had in the entirety of the last game.
And the big breadwinner for this team has been No-Tail. So much more active than last game. And still managing to keep his farm up here. He's even with the spend of Arteezy. He's had the more successful ganks, and to be fair, is the better hero at this stage for that kind of pressure. But OG aren't going to relieve it. They smoke up again, deep behind the mid lane. They still got 2 smokes in reserve. They haven't even committed that many. It's mostly just been regular running in. They could find Sumail potentially. The ward giving them some vision of Arteezy running by through the woods. Will he get out in time? Sumail, not all that quick. They're in range for the snowball. They're going to let it go, unleash it on the Sumail, and done! Another surgical strike by OG. EG still farming pretty well here on their cores, but the kills are starting to add up, and they may lead to the tower mid. The last hit going to Miracle. Another big building block for that OG mid-game offense falls into place, while Moon pressures top. And I mean, this is a hero I would like to talk about since we have a moment blitz, is the Moon Shaker. He has been huge on this hero this tournament.
Yeah, we remember the game against eHome at bottom when he was able to block out 2 heroes by himself, force the fight all around OG's terms. Does a really good job of kind of setting the tone for the rest of his team. He rotates
as well. He did the same thing in game number 2 with the Shaker.
Yeah, I think that Moon as a offlaner has really found his sort of role, being able to set up the fights for his team. And he's just pretty fearless as an initiator. Like, some offlaners can't really play that role. Oftentimes, you'll see them kind of farm a little bit more, but Moon is completely comfortable with his rotations because he knows that he's going to be successful with that fissure.
Well, Universe might be smoked, but his creep sure aren't. But Miracle's going to quickly dispense with that pesky Hawk. So they are grouping up now. They're rotating the whole team into this top lane. Early pressure from OG as they did fissure down the wave. Now diving a bit. PPD trying for the TB out. The snowball's there to stop him again. OG are going to strike. And Peter Dagger is down. The trade comes in the form of a little split push. Arteezy even popping his ultimate. We saw this from his gyrocopter in some of their previous games where he would just deploy call down all the time to push out the lanes. It seems EG have made the very clear call. We don't really want to fight right now. We want to split push and we want to stall. But OG still finding their kills and taking advantage.
I think OG should just continue to play like they have been. Go aggressive, go for the tier 1 towers. There's not a whole lot that EG are going to do to defend against this, which is surprising to say when you've got a hero like the Undying for the early game. But when you've got heroes like Tinker, when you've got the Sven, you're not really in fighting shape off the bat. You want to try to go for the split push, especially for the Tinker. Like, this hero needs the boots of travel before he begins to participate in fights.
And the Ice Blast isn't online yet. If you wait until that's up and then push, it gets a lot trickier.
Yeah, you
So it's a
notice
good
that
timing for OG.
They're just going to go for this top tower. With the gyrocopter, this hero with almost no farm is so effective. Zero chance that EG decide to fight this. And they don't have the mobility of the heroes that EG does. For example, the Tinker can be everywhere. You don't really get that out of the Razor or the gyrocopter. So they need to push this pace as much as they possibly can right now.
Yeah, the only even remotely mobile hero here for OG is Crit on that Tusk, but even so, it's a relatively short range amount of mobility he brings to bear. But still OG, they've already dismantled 3 towers on the side of EG. They now find themselves at 4,000 gold. The experience quite a bit closer. And I do like the way EG are responding at the same time. They know they don't quite have their timings, just at the boots of travel, only just now available for Sumail. Arteezy's been flash farming as much as possible, spamming God Strength on cooldown. He did take the tier 1 bottom. The Ice Blast is now online. So EG are going to hit their stride. I feel they've handled the aggression from OG reasonably well. And as a result, it's still a pretty close game here, all things considered.
Yeah, it's okay right now, but OG definitely are getting the better of the exchanges right now, but this is something that we expect. What they can do with it matters most. And what I really like is that with their tower aggression, they're going to really help out their offlaner. Moon's almost already got that crucial Blink Dagger for the Earthshaker.
It's so fast.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of having pushed so many tier 1s and tier 2s. It looks like OG, they want to gather up, go for that bottom tier 1 push, which should be pretty obvious for EG. They might even try to find 1 or 2 heroes here, but both teams smoked up. This is going to be a 3-man engagement for EG. And if they're going to be so surprised at running into these 4 heroes.
Not the hero you want in front.
You've just got to give up PPD.
That fears. No, he wants to fight this. He's going to drop the tomb. He soul reps him up. The Ice Blast does connect onto No Tail, but where's the backup? The zombies stack up a little bit. It's a level 4 tomb, so it is fairly durable, but Moon's just stalking past it. He's looking for those additional kills. Not revealing himself yet now. He gets the fissure off, jumping onto Fear while they deal with the tomb. The Echo's there as well. Here comes the Enchant Totem, but Universe interrupts the
here's
combo.
the Tinker.
He gets off the roar. Sumail, these are
think
low.
Sumail might just go
These
down.
Are low damage spells. He drops a mark, but OG rushed through it. Very surprised he took that fight. They could have easily disengaged, but they sacrificed their Tinker. They even feed away a tomb there. That was avoidable for EG.
It definitely was, especially once PPD tanked the smoke gank. That wasn't supposed to be the intent, but as soon as they run into them, they're fairly surprised. They should say, we're disengaging. And without the early levels of Laser and Rocket, like that slow-moving March of the Machines isn't going to be enough to kill that Earthshaker. I think Sumail definitely made the wrong decision there, but probably was called by his team. Like, this is an easy kill, trust them, TP's in. It's hard to say who makes that call there, but
yeah, it isn't the stage of the game where the Tinker can instantly assassinate heroes because he's gone for the March build. 1 in Laser, 2 in Heat-Seeking Missile. So it is very slow damage over time.
yeah, this hero just needs levels right now. No Tail is by himself at bottom.
And that does seem to be the game plan because Arteezy's gone for the Dominator, so he's not looking to fight either. It feels like EG item-wise and even skill-wise with the Max March very much want to play the split push game, but if you're going to do that, then you can't really take those fights. As PPD gets caught out here in the jungle, Laser is going to
but Universe at bottom.
a little bit. And while that's going on bottom lane, they do get the jump. Arteezy trying to turn this one around.
They're finally going to get a rebuttal kill.
Will he even drop? He does at long last. No Tail could be next. One more swipe, barely makes it out. Close call there. Miracle getting pinged out mid. There's not a whole lot of defense aside from that Ice Blast. But EG do at long last manage to get something going their way.
That could have been so huge for EG if they were able to pick up the kill onto that no-tail gyrocopter. But he smartly makes the decision to immediately TP out as soon as that cold embrace is over. Still a decent trade for OG. All it cost them is their Winter Wyvern, and in exchange they get the Universe offlaner. But PPD, he might be the target here. Is OG, they're centering up, but this might be a little bit too hard of a commitment, but Moon's got the Blink Dagger.
Fissure on the wrong side. They probably could have rolled for the kill there, but then you risk giving away the Tusk. Ice Blast will come out.
A little bit deep.
That's not going to connect on much, and Arteezy will Warcry walk away. He has opted for that max cleave and now leveling up the Warcry, so not leveling up the stun for the damage is very much the economy game that Arteezy's playing. Sumail, though, taking a lot of damage in the mid lane. The Fissure comes down on 2, preventing follow-up. Echo just cooled down. That was very close to Moon being able to find his team 2 more kills.
Now this is where the real split push starts with the Boots of Travel, the max levels of March of the Machines on Sumail.
And the Necro 3 coming for Universe.
Exactly, and this is the point of the game where things get a little bit tricky for OG because they want to continue to play aggressively, but if you all-in commit for towers, you're just going to fall behind and farm. But they're doing a good job right now, LD, of keeping focus. They're not giving up too much. They're still trying to apply pressure to this Sumail Tinker because he doesn't have Boots of Travel.
Moon knows where he is. He's going to let the Fissure go. Sumail may have revealed it there with the rocket. Now the Echo Slam coming through. Follow up Enchantona. Moon shuts down the rat and sends Sumail back to the well. And I was going to say, they don't really have the best lineup for Hunty at Tinker Blitz, but that's once he gets the Blink. Until then, they have some good gap closes. No Tail is on the hunt.
No, I think OG are playing perfectly around this Tinker right now. They're pressuring him at all fronts. They're making it difficult for him to just go for the TP play. And no Tail. He's invis right now. He's going to go for this.
The old man dodges it, gets the tombstone off. PPD walks back in. Ice Blast cooling down, though. Doesn't even have it available for this fight. Just crit. Lets the shards go.
RTG caught the God String.
And while that was going on, the Radiant Courier ends up getting sniped elsewhere, but Arteezy looking for Fly. The Cold Embrace is there. The Ice Blast, this will set it up easy for PPD. They may have to just sack Fly. He turns with the Curse. He gets it on 2. Arteezy locked in position. They heal from Fear, trying to keep him alive. They bring down the Wyvern. The punch comes in, but Arteezy's tanky. He fights through it. One more hit. No Tail. They're going to get it. And now the March stacks up. 3 are dead. Moon doesn't have to come
slowed up.
Moon in a lot of danger as the Rockets come in.
Miracle's
got to turn this one, but there's another laser. So they're going to have to give up the 2 for 3. More Rockets crashing in, ushering OG back.
The huge kill for EG there was...
And that Courier went down with a buckler as well as a headdress. That was almost the completed mech coming out for crit.
I don't think that's as bad as losing your gyrocopter in an engagement like that. Luckily, he was able to survive long enough to kill Arteezy, but... throws things back the other way as Sumail now almost has his Blink Dagger LD, and this is the item that we were talking about. This is what's going to make it incredibly hard for OG to keep up and farm. They don't have the best ways to catch him out, so you've got to pressure him while you still can, and...
now you see me, now you don't, says Sumail, and there's the Blink. This is where a 5th pick Tinker can, in some ways, be somewhat akin to a Huskar or a Broodmother, where if you just don't have the heroes to shut him down, and you don't completely deny him in the laning stage, he can get out of hand later on. They don't have a Storm Spirit or Bat Rider, probably, or maybe Clockwork, the 3 heroes traditionally that were used to counter the Tinker split push. They may try to find Sumail here, though.
They know he's here, but...
they figure he may have blinked away, I guess.
Yeah, they're
going to let him go.
You don't use the call down for that. No Tail, he's pinging down, but they don't have the mech available, so 1 or 2 of these marches and the AA Blast is going to slow this down.
Well, he can jump away, but if he jumps in, then that's going to be an easy grab for OG. No Tail gets clipped by the Ice Blast, he walked back into it. I think he still lives here, though. The zombies trying to prevent that escape, but it seems he should make it out. Now Snowball onto Fear, catching him, and it seems Fear may drop as well. In comes the Razor, they clean up 2 more. Sumail playing a little too aggressive and getting punished repeatedly. And now with the Blink, these should be, for the most part, avoidable deaths.
Yeah, there's no way that he should be going down here and dying a lot more than they would like.
It just doesn't seem like that's the strategy that EG want to be playing, these constant fights with the build Arteezy's gone for, with the lineup they have. They seem very well suited to spread the map.
I think what they're looking for is these individual pickoffs with the AA Blast to continue to apply some pressure. You don't want OG to just play that formulaic style where they just go from tower to tower and pressure you or get kills. You want to alleviate some of that, slow down their timing, but they're just not really engaging in the correct way. As time and time again, before they're able to get the kill, everybody from OG's gathered up. And this should kind of just hint EG to the fact that, okay, OG is going to respect our late game and their ability to catch. Let's just kind of play the split push game, play a little bit more safe. And as long as we don't die, they should be perfectly okay.
Yeah, the one thing that might be nice for them is getting some deep wards down. They do have the Hawk, but he can only see so much. That would give Sumail a little more safety. to move about. He's in the trees right now, Fly. Kind of hiding out there as well. Don't think he can get this kill on his own, but perhaps with some backup.
Yeah, that is one way they can catch him out. The Arctic Burn plus the Winter's Curse combination should be able to do it. Tinker is not a tanky hero by any stretch of the imagination. But he's going to tanky bomb.
So now OG grabs some new items, Clips. They get a Sanji Ash up a Miracle. The mech is mentioned.
Sumail's going to get caught out again.
Get the jump on Sumail once more. Exterminated. OG getting too many of these. This is now 6 deaths on the Tinker. Something's got to give here, because if he dies this much, he's going to be a non-factor later on.
Yeah, we talk about the Tinker being really effective once he has some items, but the build-up for him is so slow, and I really like the fact that OG is playing so patiently because they've been getting so many pickoffs on this Tinker that they don't have to rush anything, LD. If you don't get these 6 pickoffs, like maybe once or twice, you're a little bit worried, but you can continue to just play this style where you relax a little bit and just kind of let Sumail come to you.
Well, he seems to be obliging this far. We'll see if that continues. Universe is hanging out in the trees, only the level 1 Necro, but he was trying to do a bit of scouting with the Hawk. Gets vision, sees all, knows all. The Sumail is going to sit a little bit farther back. The plasma field comes out. He does start to spam the marks. The tower, though, will go down. Claimed by OG. BKB forced up from Arteezy as he TPs in, and then just walks away.
That was a little bit surprising.
EG are just not playing their A game. What happened to the EG from game 1?
It seems like they've lost a little bit of focus. They're getting a little bit too sloppy here. That was definitely a wasted BKB. Maybe he thought everybody was going to be there in time, but it's got to be a little bit more careful than that.
Well, certainly this is a team that has the veteran voices to recollect their poise, but right now it does seem like they're a little frustrated, maybe even slightly tilted. That was the 10-second duration BKB up against a ton of nuke damage. He's going to need that. And it won't be an easy Sven game if Arteezy's the only farmed here. I mean, look at what you've got to deal with them. The Curse, the Punch, the Sigil, the Razor, who naturally is tough for Sven to take down.
Yeah, and Sven's just not the most mobile hero either. So as cores come, he can't really chase. So that 10-second BKB is so crucial on him.
And it doesn't really feel like a game where Sven can do it alone unless they get some kind of crazy blink stun from him. As Notel jumps in, he was looking for the go here on the tower. This time Sumail able to dodge the bullet, backs off, and will start to spam out the rockets. They're now maxed, the heat-seeking missiles splash in, but OG are fairly durable in some of their frontliners. Miracle up to 1700 HP. Notel sitting at 1600. But EG, they're back to the split push game. We're going to see Arteezy bottom, grouped up with the Universe. Didn't deploy the Necro book though. Feels he may need it for the fight mid. As PPD worms his way through the trees, but Moon's there to greet him. Top lane, gonna catch out the Ancient Apparition. There's the stun, the follow-up totem, and dumped! Moon is on a mega kill. He was the savior for OG in many a game in their miraculous run through the bracket, and he is showing up big here in game number 2.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of map control right now. The fact that Moon can solo kill so many of these heroes on the EG side has got to be worrying for them, as he's got 1200 gold on top of that double mobility set up with the Blink Dagger and the Force Staff and EG.
They're going to contest. They don't have the Echo for this, though. This is a big spell to be missing, but the March stacks up. The Tombstone's on the high ground. Blitz, it's so hard to fight into this one. Fear's going to have to TP out, but Moon's there to cancel it. Another grab, but to be fair, the Tomb is already down. That's the most important
These Ice Shards are locking out Arteezy, though, wasting a lot of his God Strength timing.
Universe getting caught out now. The call-out's coming in. They're going to re-engage with Sumail. He's on the high ground, but he's going to get scouted out here. Fly gets up the Curse. Now the Appraise. They're going to beat down Sumail and Moon again! He doesn't! The Radiant get the kill! They grab the Aegis! It's grand theft here by OG! Feeling amazing, I am sure, after that fight. My goodness, everything executed perfectly there down the stretch.
I mean, you talk about Moon Meander doing it. I want to just highlight Crit, the ability for him to be able to get those Ice Shards off between Roshan and Arteezy, separating the two of them. Maybe if they have the Aegis there, they're able to fight. And he was almost able to grab that. Like, he had that last few seconds of God Strength, but that Ice Shards completely preventing that Roshan attempt from ending.
And the Tinker's just struggling this game. And we've seen Tinker games where you give that hero a good start and he just wins the game for the team solo, but Sumail has just been punished time and again, and he's sitting at 5th in net worth.
I mean, he had a good game, LD. We talk about it as if he didn't, but he was able to get one of the first kills of the game in that mid lane. They were able to get the turnaround, but all these deaths, they begin to add up in the top. No tail and crit. They're gathered up. They've got the Trinkle Boots now completed on crit, so this is going to be a little bit better for their pushes too.
So I have 2 questions for you, Blitz. A, OG have had a great start. How do they cement the advantage, and when do they look to try and break into that base, if it's anytime soon? And B, how do EG get back in this game?
If you're EG, you have to go for a more reliable split push. Make it so that OG have to decide between going for the high ground or constantly going back for the defense. But I think OG, as well as EG played in game 1, I mean, OG are doing it in game number 2. They're not overextending. They're making sure to claim objectives slowly, one by one. And when you're against this lineup where you're fearful of the late game or the split push, the correct thing to do is not to just go all in immediately, lose one fight, and kill your momentum. It's to look for the individual pickoffs, slow down the tempo of the game, and make it really difficult for EG to continue to go for the split push. Instill some fear in them.
Well, the fear may come now. I mean, I've mentioned Moon a few times. He really looks to play the role of the Exterminator now, grabbing himself a Shadow Blade. Even tougher on the Tinker. And not just the Tinker. They've been trying to split push with Universe quite a bit as well. That's another hero he might be able to pick off. As Arteezy gets scouted out here near his own Ancients. No Tail is there to shut him down. OG playing that Starvation Dota as much as possible. Limiting the economy for EG. Despite the more farming-oriented build from Arteezy, he finds himself pretty thoroughly down to net worth, 3k behind.
And he just isn't playing that typical split push style that we see out of him. He doesn't have that hero that can instantly wave clear. And most importantly, LD, they have a lot of different ways to cancel that BKB.
Bottom lane, roar on the fly. Okay, he's dead.
It's a casual pickup by EG. They needed something like that, but Moon at bottom, he's setting up for this. He's Shadow Bladed up.
Oh,
2
God.
heroes are stacking up.
Oh no, this could be terrible. Moon looking for the Donkey Bites 2 again. It's Moon the end. He does it once more. He looks for Universe, barely able to TP out. They didn't have that follow-up stun. Still, incredible stuff here from Moon.
Radiant's top tower.
Do you remember when he first switched over from Heroes of New Earth? He got no respect. No one gave him a chance.
I mean,
But he is proving that he is hot trash no longer.
his persona was always a little bit clowny. He used to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of videos out there where he just kind of trash talks and has a lot of fun. But I mean, this guy's completely dedicated himself to competitive Dota. Rarely streams. Just puts himself on the grind. Incredibly respectable. This is a guy who just through hard work has been able to do it. He's keeping his team well in the lead so far. The ability for the Earthshaker right now, 3rd in net worth, to just look for these solo pickoffs is so huge.
Sumail's in the trees, but Moon's looking for him. The blink back. Can he find him? Fissure. He's gonna fish for it. He actually did get him.
He's got the Force Staff up.
Force Staff, now the Enchant Totem, the follow-up's there. He's locking down the Tinker. The cooldown's coming
1 second.
Oh, he blinks out. Beautiful play by Sumail, able to retreat in time. And now OG are gonna have to back off, but they haven't lost anyone yet. The roar comes out of Miracle, but it does BKBs. Ice Blast through. They can both tank it. Snowtail focusing on the tomb. There's the heal up. Nicely played by Fear to keep it alive. They're gonna lose their Aegis. Arteezy's in the front lines. He gets the son of his miracles. The BKB ends. He might be able to kill him off. He will. EG holding the line
no
here.
tail. This isn't the position you want to be in.
They might lose another core. No tail down as well. And OG are now in a headlong retreat. Force stepping out on the Earthshaker. Gonna blink out. Probably TP home soon. And it is a Bloodstone for Sumail. Bit late, but now he's got it.
That was the first real slip-up, I feel, by OG in this game, LD. They were so patient, they never really overextended for any of these individual kills, but they go so deep just to try to kill Sumail, get completely caught out of position, and by the time the tombstones drop, they're not really in a fighting condition, even with the Aegis available. They can't really afford to do that, especially against a lineup that EG has. There's tons of split push. Sumail now has that fully completed Bloodstone, like you said, and Arteezy's finally starting to rack up some of this farm.
Oh, PPD. Moon is on the hunt again. He's going to deploy that Shadow Blade. Does he realize what's happening? He's only got a few seconds to react here. Hot on the trail. There's no tier 2. Meet the Totem, the Fissure, the Blink. Another grab. It's a monster kill for Moon. One-man wrecking crew here. But with that said, EG are getting active on the map, and it is only a support. The Beastmaster's out in the Radiant jungle. Sumail's pressing forward that mid lane. Arteezy's actually able to farm his Ancients now. As nice as the kills look, EG are regaining their map control.
Yeah, they're doing it bit by bit, but that one engagement at bottom kind of made things a little bit trickier for OG. They still have a 10k net worth lead, and their Earthshaker is incredibly overfarmed, so they're not too worried, and they shouldn't be. You look at that bottom engagement, and you might think to yourself, okay, EG is completely back into this game, but if you look at the Earthshaker, he can still pretty much nab any of these heroes solo, maybe with the exception of Arteezy. And this is so strong just for map control.
How do you evaluate this game if it goes late? Right now it's 20-10. OG have a pretty substantial lead, about 10k gold. Let's say this goes an hour in, which as a Tinker game, it easily could. Is there a point where EG just flat out have the better late game lineup, or vice versa? Oh, top lane. Hold that thought. They're taking the go on Arteezy again. It's Moon. He gets off the Echo, the follow-up damage. Another grab. What a show. 8, 2, and 7 on an off-lane Earthshaker. He started 0-2. He's gone 8, 0, and 7 since that time. But okay, Blitz. How do you evaluate the teams if this does go really late?
If this Earthshaker wasn't doing as much as he was right now, I would say, but hold that thought at top. Miracle's going to be the turnaround target.
Ice Blast, Roar. He does get up the BKB again. The fissure. Moon always ready. This guy's there when you need him. He does back off now. It does force out a BKB for Miracle, but he's able to back off.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. The save is much more important. It's an 8-second BKB now, but as we were saying, if Moon didn't have as much farm as he did, I would give the advantage firmly to EG. But this is a lot more like a core Earthshaker that we've seen in the mid lane. With the Shadow Blade, he's got a lot of pick-off potential, and he continues to scale. It's not like this hero is terrible with farm. He's about to get a Shiva's Guard, and with
He's actually really scary with farm. It's just that he normally doesn't get it because of the nature of the hero.
Yeah, but the early towers and the amount of aggression that he was able to get with that early Blink Dagger has completely paid off for them.
So OG are going to back off a bit now, reset. We'll see No-Tail. He's been stacking up some Ancients. I got the Dominator a while ago. He is now clearing that stack out. He's even grabbed a Ring of Health here. Are we thinking a Linken's?
Potentially. I'm trying to think right now what else that could be, just for the Ring of Health.
I mean, not much unless he, wants a pipe?
Yeah, you could go for...
Battle Fury Gyrocopter?
That would be incredibly weird.
I would love to see someone win with that on the main stage.
You
But
could go for a Lotus Orb.
That's true.
The Linken's, though...
Lotus is pretty good against that Roar, I suppose.
Yeah, it's good against the Roar. It gives you some armor. Throws back the Sven stun.
They're going to press in, though. OG, this tier 2 bottom has actually held for a long time. Those early towers came very quickly, but Ice Blast will only tickle as they look to clean this one up. The tier 2 dropping. Homie missiles being spammed out. Or, excuse me, heat-seeking missiles. Got to keep them straight. They will Greaves up, though, and they will cave in the tower. Miracle getting the last hit. And with that, closing in on his next big item, it looks like that will be the Assault Cuirass. While Moon, meanwhile, picks up his own Plate Mail. We'll see if this is something like a Lotus Orb, or if he even wants to grab a Shiva's. But the point is, new items are coming for OG.
Yeah, and Crit at top is looking for the pickoff.
Here's the
TP
Tinker on the
is coming
side.
from the Hawk.
Missile comes in, Crit gonna back off. And then the missiles go in again. Really trying to bully him off the tower. This is where the siege can ramp up for EG.
This next Roshan, though, is going to be the target. The Gyrocopter is going to be the Linken Sphere for him. And this is going to allow him to broach high ground. Once he pops the BKB and the Linkens, there's not going to be a whole lot that can stop him, LD.
There's actually nothing. They can't roar him at that point. And there's nothing else to break it.
Yeah, this Roshan is available. This is going to be pretty huge for OG in their high ground attempts. So they need it. You don't want a chance going high ground against Tinker without one. 1 or 2 marches could pretty much spell doom for you.
OG still stubbornly holding on to nearly all their tier 1 towers. Top and mid still standing, albeit a bit damaged. EG, they will walk into the Roche pit here. Actually, I should correct myself. Blinked in. So not technically scouted out here, but OG are in the neighborhood. They seem to know something's up, and now the tomb gets dropped. The march gets spammed out. Really tough to fight into this. It's a whole lot of stuff, but they're going to chance it anyway. The BKB for Miracle, and he goes right on Arteezy. Gets off the static link, but he breaks it quickly. The Ice Blast coming through. Hits on Miracle, glimmered up for now. No-Tail engaging. Can he kill off anything? The BKBs are ending. They're going to have to back. And now the March can really work its magic. There's the Curse. It's a bit on the late end of the fight, but it does lock down Arteezy. Trying to finish him off. They look to keep him alive. There's the Echo. It's Moon again! He's done it! 2 down! Just like that. And now OG, they want this Roche, and they want it bad. Sumail still stubbornly refusing to give it up, spamming the rockets, but the Sigil stalking him. He will have to retreat from this. Blinking farther and farther away, but again, Moon, bottom lane, he's hunting, trying to find Universe on the Beastmaster. That's the gem carrier. Fissure just late. Almost got the gem there as well. But this will allow them to secure the Roche. Nowhere to TP in. OG, again EG, twice in a row. They've tried to pull a fast one, tried to sneak the Roche, and twice they have been thoroughly denied.
I think they're almost overestimating the damage of this God Strength Sven, because they keep thinking that he can do it fast enough, but even with that full God Strength duration, LD, and him hitting it with the help of the Necro Creeps, they're only getting it to about half HP, so when the real fight happens, they're not actually able to capitalize very much. You saw, if the Sven maybe had the God Strength for a little bit longer, they could have maybe killed the Gyrocopter or the Razor, but because it ends so soon, they weren't able to get either of them, and giving up the Roshan on top of that, that's 2 fights in a row where EG a little bit inefficient with their fighting.
Radiant's top tower has been
I'm almost wondering at this point if OG can threaten the high ground. They've got the Assault Cuirass up now, and the Lincoln Sphere with the Aegis, so No-Tail is effectively immortal while that BKB is active. Unless he just decides to dive the tier 4s.
And they're fast reaching a point where they can just kind of brute force it. They've got the BKBs on both cores. You've got the Guardian Greaves completed onto crit.
And gone are those days where you can just spam March against BKBs and hold the line.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be as strong. They do have the AA Ice Blast, but still.
It is level 2. PPD, credit to him, has done a good job of just constantly finding ways to sneak experience, but there's no Ags. And everyone on OG is quite tanky here. They've got a Glimmer Cape, they've got multiple BKBs, the Aegis as well, and just raw HP in general. So the Ice Blast isn't as devastating as it could be if the enemy was a bit squishier.
EG is going to go for the split push once again, pressure down this tier 2, and this is the correct move by them. There's almost no way that you're going to get into a straight 5-on-5 engagement and win against OG's lineup, but they have to be careful. You don't want to get your TP cancelled in a situation like this, and there's plenty of ways for OG to do it.
Seems EG really want to draw OG back, delay any sort of high ground pressure. OG are on the smoke right now, only 3 here. The Earthshaker sticking around bottom just to ensure that there's no high ground breach, and they are swinging around, wrapping around. No-Tail and Miracle hunting. They might catch out Fear here in just a moment. The old man's been scouted out, has the TP available. Actually, no way to cancel it for these two, at least not quickly. That homie missile will take too long, so Fear will just TP away. The BOTs are now out on Moon. He was almost there in time to force Fear to come to play, but not quite.
Yeah, this is going to buy EG a little bit more time. You want to force them to play as reactively as possible. Sumail's going to farm the enemy jungle with the help of the Hawk. And this is so cool by EG. This is the safest way for him to farm right now, farming
the deepest possible big camps on the Radiant side.
Yeah, and you can also split up the mid lane with that too. So this Hawk positioning by Universe is going to be really key here. And meanwhile, RTZ just continues to farm out that top lane.
How are you feeling about the Bloodstone this game? It wasn't always an item that we saw picked up on Tinker in the past. For a while, it was the go-to build. Are you feeling like it's paid off this game? Was there another item Sumail could have considered?
No, I think that this is about right. His play could have been a little bit cleaner with getting caught off, but I think the item build is perfectly fine. Going for the Bloodstone, you don't really have the mana pool to spam out, and that's what you want to do, especially when you're being high ground sieged. You don't want to constantly have to go back to the fountain. You want to continue the siege of the March of the Machines almost non-stop, and this is what he's going to go for here. Is he's putting a lot of pressure on that top lane. The call down's going to come, but unable to connect.
I do love the pressure that OG just keep up on EG. There's no breathing room, at least not comfortable breathing. So they're forcing them to dig deep.
No, they're doing a really good job right now of their siege. They're not overcommitting anything, and this is something that I just want to keep stressing is they're not making any moves that they don't have to, with the exception of that bottom lane push.
Universe gonna TP out, but Moon's there, the Fissure again! Is there gonna be follow-up for this? This is the gem carrier, he's able to blink out.
Oh, they know he's stuck here. With the cancelled
they have to go for this. This is the gem carrier, and Moon, perfect on the blink, is gonna find him with the enchant totem.
He can't afford to lose this.
What a gigantic grab for OG, and Moon again delivers! 10, 2, and 8. And now a gem of their own, and he's gotten a Lotus Orb on top of it all.
And this is going to be even more effective for them when they go for those single pickoffs on the heroes like Sumail. That Shadow Blade just became 10 times stronger. You can't just have the boar up at all times from Universe, and they don't really have the money to just continuously buy gems, LD.
They are definitely struggling in the gold department now. Almost a 20k gold deficit. What a total swing from last game, where it was one of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen administered at a major or a TI. But some serious poise here from OG. Not letting it affect their mentality going into game 2. Keeping all 3 lanes in. Still, if they want to go for high ground now, they would be doing it lacking that Aegis, so we may not even see them anytime soon.
You don't want to fight without it, I think. You just continue to farm out the map. They're gaining such a big lead, and it just continues to steadily climb. There's almost no pick-off potential for EG anymore that OG won't respond to, and so they can just kind of force in all 3 lanes, farm their own jungle, farm EG's jungle, and only allow EG to farm the creeps as they push into the base. This is the correct move, because they can continue to scale.
Well, a 3rd gem will enter the field of battle. 2 for OG. A fresh one now purchased here by the old Undying. This one they really need to hold on to. Arteezy shows himself mid, and quickly he is sent back to base. Get the hell away. That's the call from Notel. And he continues to get towards that next item. Now picking up his Eagle Psalm, the Butterfly, likely not too far off. Fly getting the aggressive wards up, just systematically pinning EG inside their base. Even the Hawk is struggling to get out. And, well, you mentioned Sumail farming the enemy jungle. Those days seem to be over, at least for now. Unless they want to send the whole squad bottom lane to get some map control back.
Looked like they were just trying to group up, get a little bit of ward vision down. And EG, they're in full force here at the bottom lane. Sumail's just kind of forcing in top, making sure that they don't take any unnecessary tower damage. But OG, they continue to have a lot of map control on their side. And this is almost entirely in part to this Moon Meander Shadowblade Earthshaker. And what I really like from him right now, LD, is because EG's so afraid of him, instead of just continuing to map pressure, he's getting in a lot of farm during this time.
He's got 174 CS. That is a lot for an offlane Earthshaker. Haster now activated by Notel. He has managed to take over a Cobbled Foreman. And he's going to have a little scout here off in the Dire jungle. And like you said, the pressure, it's all mental at this point. He's not actually there trying to gank them, but he might as well be. They're not even comfortable farming their own woods.
I think it would be a waste of time for him to continue to just scout around the map, especially when all the heroes from OG are just concentrated on farming right now. But like I said, or like you said, it's a psychological game. This is what you want to do as the offlaner. You want to be off the map as much as you possibly can, farm out your own jungle, and just by being off the map, you're able to create space for the rest of your team. This is the correct way to play this type of hero. It's not always about farming in the lane, pushing things out.
And the team is taking full advantage of it. Notel, those constant aggressive forays into the enemy jungle. You mentioned moon farming and off the map. Miracle has kept his own CS up nicely, sitting there around 330. I think the first time since I've seen Fada play Razor that anyone has managed to accrue this much farm. Very impressive stuff.
And Sumail's split pushing days are pretty much over.
Oh, Notel. This could be big. Universe is going to find him, blinks in, and then hesitates. Instead, they're going to look for Fly. They got him with the stun. Arteezy found his opening. Can he actually do much to Notel here, though? The evasion will be tough to deal with. And now Miracle jumps in. They get off the static link. The ult going on to Arteezy. Ice Blast going to be dodged by the snowball. Now the Echo, not the greatest, but it does get Universe. Arteezy will be lashed down. And solid is all they need here for OG as they look for Fear 2, trying to TP away. Not going to happen. He's denied as well. The old man's down.
And PPD's getting caught.
To the nursing home, and 2 to fall is Peter. That's 4. OG getting everything they need. And now it feels like just a Roche. And then time to go break that base and force EG into a decisive game number 3.
There's just too much farm right now on the 2 cores from OG. You saw that they tried to turn on the gyrocopter after they killed that Winter Wyvern, and it might have been successful if they were able to land their abilities. They were able to pop the Lincolns early on, and maybe if the Beastmaster was able to roar in conjunction with that Ice Blast, but such a sick save by Crit.
They're not even going to wait. Forget about Roche. They want to do it now. No-Tail Miracle jumping in off the bat. Super confident the BKBs are about to cool down. Now they swing on towards mid, where there is still a single hero rage creep available. And a wave pushing in. And now a Silver Edge has been grabbed. Just more items. OG getting whatever the hell they can right now to allow them to break this base, or at least force out a buyback. They don't actually manage to do that, but they do significant structural damage. 240 HP is all that's left on that tier 3 mid.
And most importantly, they pop the glyph and the Roshan is available. So this next time they go for it, they can just kind of YOLO in. There's not a whole lot for them to worry about. And for the third time, it looks like EG they're thinking about contesting, but it's not going to get any easier, especially with how the first two fights at the Roche Pit went.
By the way, EG lost their third gem in that engagement, so OG are now the proud owners of a small jewelry shop. Miracle looking for Universe bottom lane as Universe tried to jump in on the crit, but he's going to get turned on. Universe is down. Things are collapsing here for EG. Sumail blinking out towards safety. Every opening they search for, a new door is slammed, a window is closed. OG delivering an almost equally flawless showing here in game number 2 to what EG did to them in game 1. They march into the pit. And it looks like the Roche will be theirs. Can EG even hope to contest? No Ice Blast for 30. No Arteezy in sight. They're going to let this one go as well, Blitz.
This might be the largest XP difference that I've personally seen in competitive gaming.
It's definitely up there.
40,000.
Because remember, when the rubber band was slackened, that was only for gold, not for experience. So normally you just get one kill here or there, and things really turn around, but they just haven't been getting them. They got one kill on Fly, and that's really been it for almost
here
20
again.
minutes.
He's shadow bladed up. He's gonna run into Arteezy. Arteezy has to get the hell out, but
Gets stunned, Fissure's there, Echo's available, or gonna let him go for now. Only for now though, there's the stun, they gotta turn this on Moon quickly. Lotus Orb is available, they're gonna curse Arteezy, stealing his damage, doesn't have a TP, forced to fight. In complete trouble, no way out, completely kited, controlled, and then death by the totem. Earthshaker outmanned fighting a Sven. You don't see that very often.
Moon Meander's just having a game-saving performance for OG right now.
This
the
might
amount
be
of pickoffs that he's had.
This might be the best game of his career. This is disgusting.
It's got to be up there. He's just found so many individual pickoffs on a team like EG. And he's just making this look like a pub right now. He Shadow Blades up, finds a pickoff or two, constantly been doing this, making the game nearly impossible for Sumail. As he Shadow Bladed up once again, University doesn't have the gem this time around. He's going to go for the split push. With the Necrobooks deployed, this is going to be nearly impossible for Moon to go on, but...
Well, he does have the Blink and the Force, but would have to basically guess that Universe is sticking around. So they look towards the siege mid lane, perhaps Moon. BOTs are available, so he can join this push. They're going to plot Miracle up in front, muscling down the tower, still holding the Aegis, very tanky, 2300 health, massive armor. Not sure where EG's damage comes from. They don't have an Eggs on PPD. The Tinker's farm simply is underwhelming at this point, even with the Dagon 5. They've got the BKBs, they've got the Glimmer Cape, they've got solutions, and then the Sven just gets kited fight after fight. They are going to try to force out those BKBs though. We'll see Fly heal up Miracle, then they pop the Greaves, bringing him back towards full HP. The ward on the high ground doing some work, but Fly going to dispense with that. And there's Cheese here on crit, so more ways to heal up and commit to the siege should they so desire. The Earthshaker pushing in the top lane. They want all lanes pressing in. They do not want EG to get out of their base, even should EG win that Miracle fight. And a miracle it would be. 30,000 gold and change and rising. 40, almost 50,000 experience in the hole. This is getting into impossible territory. I mean, it probably has been there for some time.
I mean, with one really good fight, maybe EG can turn it, but the cores from OG are simply stronger at this point. Miracle's hero just completely counters Arteezy right now.
No tail, fishing, jumping in, he deploys the homie missile. He's the Lincoln Spear Bearer, he's also got himself a Satanic. The stun comes out and will connect on Miracle. They're gonna try to zap him, but he pops the BKB. Miracle put under by the Cold Embrace, healed up quite a bit before that Ice Blast connects. Now Glimmered and they've gotten the racks. They scoot away. And they're doing this entire siege without Moon, who's just camping top. Daring that Tinker to come. He's saying, I know he's going to. He wants these creeps. He needs the gold.
He's been up here for 3 minutes now. Invis. He's just kind of oscillating between going invis, blinking in, fissuring a wave, and running out.
And EG basically have to assume he's mid because they have no vision. No wards. The Hawk keeps on dying. And oh, the wait, it might pay off. Hey, buddy. Moon. Fissure. This time he's off the mark. And Sumail, long glass, he gets a little dodgeable, but back in the Dire base where Miracle's been stunned. Still holding on to that Aegis. He's got about a minute and change here. They're going to heal him up again. These Ice Blasts just feeling inconsequential even when they do use them. And with the range racks down the mid lane, caved in, It's death by about 1 million cuts here that EG are succumbing to.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And for good measure, the Dire Courier dies. Because this wasn't already ugly enough.
They're doing such a good job with the slow siege. They're just setting up their Aegis.
They jump in though, they go for Sumail, they find him with the Walrus Punch, the Sheemus is there. Miracle looking for the follow-up initiation, and Moon tries to get in, but then Obnoxious Tinker keeps him out. They don't really need him though. Arteezy, kited, controlled, dead, Fissure, look for the dunk, it's gonna end in absolute agony for EG. 3 buyback. 4 may follow. They've still got a Satanic, and they're diving deeper for this. No Tail, though, has been stunned. Can they burst him down? This will be big. Pops the Satanic, looks to turn, tries to hang on.
Oh, he's not even gonna die.
He lives! They just can't get him. And Moon ends this game 14-2 and 13, 39-12, the final score. A rout to end all routes. Both teams taking turns, beating each other senseless. It sets up for an amazing game 3.
This was the most disciplined OG I've seen this entire tournament. They almost never extended this entire game. They did such a good job of controlling up the mobile heroes from EG and never allowing them to get the split push going.